Welcome, everyone, and welcome to Discussions. This is Discussions, Volume 2, where we combine the hard-hitting Internet Talk Radio show that we usually do on Fridays at Mega Life 21, starting 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the actual live broadcasting of discussions on video via the internet. Okay, we are coming to you live from the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. I am your host, James Parana Madonna, and I am here with my co-host and mentor, the very founder of Newsletter Censored in 1977, the one and only, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. How are you, sir?
See.
Very good. It is Saturday. Was it January 29th? January 29th, 2011. We're recovering from another snowstorm, of course. I don't even count them anymore because of the severe winter we're having off of the worst summer on record. And actually, I borrowed the scarf from my coworker, the Wizard Azibuko. You know, and it happens to be chilly. Now,
I just ate chili.
You just ate chili. Yeah, he can't. The Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman cannot handle the hellfire chili that I eat, because I eat chili with habanero peppers or ghost chilies or whatever. But
mine is heavenly chili.
Heavenly chili, like angel food cake. Now, Esmeralda, the personal assistant to the Wizard Azibuko, was telling me that in her friend, who's a minister in Finland, says that all of Scandinavia, Finland, Sweden, and Norway, in the wintertime only receives 4 hours of daylight per day, and the rest is all night. And in the summer, they receive the opposite. They receive 4 hours of night, and the rest is all day. Gee, no wonder the Vikings were crazy. The berserkers. Well, no wonder they pillaged and plundered and wanted to kill everybody.
Yeah, they all had sad. They were depressed.
You mean...
they relieved their stress by,
the winter syndrome?
Sticking a lance in someone.
Sticking a battle axe in somebody's chest?
In head.
Huh?
Cracking their head with a battle axe.
Cracking their head open or decapitating them?
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to say... I want to try to summarize what's going on, because obviously many American voters, many Americans are stupid. I used to say deceived and lied to, which is true, and deluded. But now I'm saying they're downright stupid for voting for a predominantly conservative, right-wing conservative Republican Congress. Everything okay, camera person? The most important red dot is still there on the upper screen. Yes, no. Anyway, listen up, America. This is the deal. This is the deal. Please excuse the excess noise in the background. Our office is very busy. Our other co-workers at the Newsletter Censored Research Center are having a meeting. I just wish they toned down the volume of their voices. Doing a show.
Well, we'll have the furnace to contend with soon, too.
Yeah, that fucking furnace, when it kicks in, oh man, I hate it. Anyway, listen up, America. When you vote for a conservative right-wing Republican, and I'm talking to the Tea Party, middle-class Tea Party protesters who are unfairly overtaxed. I mean, that's a given. That's no lie. When you vote for a conservative Republican or a conservative dummycrat. I just made that up.
Nice.
Dummycrat is a Democrat who is no longer a liberal. They have become moderate. They want to play the middle of the fence because they don't want to offend anybody. They want everybody to love them. Or they just sell their voters out and become conservative and sell out to corporate America as corporate American ass kissers. Anyway, a dummycrat, if you vote for a moderate to conservative dummycrat or a Republican, what you're getting is basically a corporate control plutocracy where their objective is to destroy the Constitution of the United States and take away your rights.
While saying they are protecting it and obeying it.
Obeying it by destroying it?
Yes.
And taking away your First Amendment rights and all your other rights?
Didn't George Bush do that very well?
Well, George Bush is guilty of war crimes that he hasn't went to trial for.
That's what the Patriot Act did.
And Cheney. Technically, they're both guilty of many crimes that they have not, that the Democrats, that the Obama administration has not pursued them.
They went over there to Spain and told Spain not to pursue them.
Leave it up to a European country to tell the truth and shoot straight from the hip and not mess around, like they're doing in Egypt right now. I'm proud of the Egyptians. The Egyptians don't take no. The people in the Middle East, when they see corruption running their country and their poverty is increasing by leaps and bounds, they don't take any shit. They're out there turning vehicles over, and
however,
they're furious.
However, biblical prophecy says that
30 years
the Islamic extremists will take over Egypt and align with Iran.
Oh, just like the right wing is and has taken over the United States of America, and of course, when the right wing takes over the United States of America, corporations, which are controlling the puppets, the right-wing conservative career politicians in Washington are like marionettes, puppets controlled by
Pinocchio.
The evil, wicked, greedy corporate CEOs, which I hate with a passion. So you have a corporate plutocracy running the United States. Your constitutional rights are taken away, and basically they're grooming you for slavery in the future. If you have to work, if the average American job offers you minimum wage with little or no benefits, and to me that's just short of slavery, because with the high cost of living, the jobs now in America never coincide with the cost of living figures, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But corporations in America don't want that. That's why they're moving overseas. That's why they outsource.
Yeah, they outsource jobs. They conservatives arrange it so the elitists, the rich corporations, do not pay any taxes at all, or very little, and the tax burden, like what Ronald Reagan did in the 1980s, falls upon the middle class and the poor. Hold on.
Absolutely.
Falls upon the middle class and the poor in the form of property taxes, sales taxes, consumption taxes of different sorts, and the rich get away with murder. So that is what you get, Tea Party protesters, when you vote for a Republican politician. It could be like what we have in New Jersey with the Mr. Balloon Boy, Chris Crisco Christie, who has no compassion for the poor and the middle class. Just chop, 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 Paul Bunyan style, all social programs, let the poor die, and then of course never tax the rich, and he wants to privatize everything so everybody makes a shitty salary of maybe, $11 or $12 an hour, like the New Jersey toll booth takers. All right, no unions. They don't like unions, right? Conservatives don't like unions, so heaven forbid you should get screwed over up the ass with no lubrication. You have nobody to defend you. You have nobody to turn to, and that's it. So that's what you get, you Tea Party fools, when you vote for somebody who does not have your best interest at heart. You get a corporate controlled America, a corporate plutocracy. You get next to nothing. You get peanuts for a salary with no benefits, and you end up not being able to keep up with the cost of living. Your home eventually gets foreclosed. You end up living in a tent, and you have people like Chris Christie there to offer you absolutely nothing. You buy drinking water with chemicals that are put in there to make the mainstream America sterile, so the poor and the lower middle class cannot reproduce, just like Jesse Ventura said on conspiracy theory. And the herd gets culled, and you end up with slaves to work their farms and factories to next to nothing. Of course, conservative Republicans would love child labor in third world countries and fourth world countries to make their products. But then, Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, before I sum it up, who is going to buy the products of the corporations if nobody has any money?
I don't know. I don't think they've thought that through. Because they're certainly not going to be selling their wares to the 20 or 30% that's going to be left with money, with the wherewithal to do their shopping. That's not going to be able to sustain them.
No.
What I believe they're hoping for is to expand in other countries.
Expand in other countries? Sell their products where? European Union? Japan maybe?
Probably.
Maybe.
Hoping by volume they might make up the loss in the American market.
So just like William H. Morrow III, our commercial voiceover artist says, they don't think long term.
No.
These corporate elitists and conservative politicians, they think short term. How much can I save and make right now, today?
Yeah.
How much can I screw you over for right now, today? And deregulate all businesses so they can lie to you and cheat you and screw you over. Now, you have a update on the Taco Bell lawsuit?
Well, it's not an update per se, but the CEO was on television the other day claiming that the meat is 88% in their taco.
That much?
And
Really?
That the
Right. Yeah, right.
The lawsuit is without merit.
The lawsuit's without merit.
Now, the FDA requires that when you say you got beef in there, you better have 40%.
40%
The
requirement.
guy that has the lawsuit going, a class action lawsuit,
Yeah.
by the way,
Right.
says there's only 35%. So whom to believe,
Right.
we don't know.
Well, he took it to a lab or something?
Obviously.
He substantiated he verified the findings, and they found 35%. Corporate CEO, I think PepsiCo owns KFC and Taco Bell. So corporate CEO representing Taco Bell insists that they're using 85% beef. 88? Oh, that much? 88% beef, but it was proven to contain only 35% beef. There you have it. Deregulated corporations by conservative Republicans, and it's a lie. It's a flat-out lie.
And the only way we can get this kind of information is by a whistleblower. But what is happening
Who won't
now,
take a payoff?
whistleblowers are being looked down upon. They're being called traitors, and they are being inhibited.
Well, not if you...
Look at Mr. Assange with WikiLeaks.
Well, whistleblowers involving ratting out a corporation, to me,
Should be honored.
they're a hero.
Yeah.
They're not rat finks. They're a hero because I despise corporate American CEOs. Corporate American CEOs are the tools of Satan because they're the ones, Reverend Bill, stop me if I'm wrong, they're the ones that send the lobbyists to Washington to get the congressmen and senators to vote in favor of the elitists and the corporations.
Not only do they do that, but they actually write the bills for the Congress.
Really? So they say, oh, this is how we want you to vote.
Exactly.
Now that we've paid you off, here's the bill. To the congressman or senator.
Right.
Here's how we want you to vote. And they
Here's
do
how
this.
we want you to write it.
And they do this to both Republicans and Democrats.
Democrats too, yes.
You know what? This is the first show where, off the top of my head, totally unrehearsed, I invented the word Democrat.
Coined it.
What?
You coined it.
I coined it?
Coined the word, yes.
Kerned it, like Archie Bunker used to say?
Kerned the word.
Or and Ed Norton from the Honeymooners. I kerned it?
Kerned Democrat.
Okay. Okay, first article. This is a continuation of the last discussions, which was volume 1. This is volume 2.
Do you spend a lot of time with a lot of friends? That might mean a particular part of your brain is larger than usual.
Well, it depends on the kind of friends you have.
It's the amygdala.
Caligula?
Amygdala,
Oh, amygdala, this part of the brain.
which lies deep inside.
Ooh, that sounds
Brain
sexy. Deep
scans.
inside.
Brain scans of 58 volunteers in a preliminary study indicated that the bigger the amygdala,
Amygdala.
the more friends and family the volunteers reported seeing regularly. That makes sense because the amygdala is at the center of our brain, that network that's important for socializing,
Yeah.
says Lisa Feldman Barrett,
Yeah.
author of the work published online Sunday by the journal Nature Neuroscience.
Yeah.
For example, the network helps us recognize whether somebody is a stranger or an acquaintance, a friend or a foe. But does having a bigger amygdala lead to more friends? Or does socializing with a lot of friends create a bigger amygdala?
Now, would somebody who is a swinger or a porn star have a very large, extra large amygdala?
Well, we don't know that. It probably depends on how important the friendship is, or how depthful.
Yeah, depthful. And how,
The study,
sorry, folks. My
That's
antioxidant tea here.
the study can't sort that out.
Okay.
The work supported by the federal government
Got
was
a big amygdala. Hey,
aimed
honey, I got a big amygdala.
at uncovering basic knowledge rather than producing any immediate practical payoff. But it might someday lead to ways to help people maintain active social lives. People have one amygdala in the left half of the brain and another in the right half. The findings of the study held true for each one.
Interesting. Very interesting. The amygdala. The amygdala study. The amygdala project. I like that article. The size of your amygdala means a lot. It's the size of the amygdala that matters, not the quality of the amygdala.
Well, you know what they say, size does matter.
Size does matter. I was told in the past that don't believe people
I
that
was always told it was the motion of the ocean, not the height of the
listen.
mass.
The motion of the ocean. What motion is there? It's in and out. It goes in. It goes out. It goes in and out fast. It goes in and out moderately. It goes in and out like a jackhammer.
Pressure, excuse me.
It's in and out. It can go in and out on an angle. Up,
Oh my God.
come from the bottom, from the left, from the right. Basically, it's just in and out. So this, how you use it, and the motion in the ocean, and blah, all these, and downgrading and trivializing size. All these are phrases and info that are come out that are created by people who have small amygdalas to make them feel better about themselves, to make them
To enhance their amygdala.
the amygdala, their self-esteem is improved. But really, a good sized sausage, chorizo, a good amygdala will take you a long way, brother. Gary Null says red Panax ginseng will increase the size of your amygdala. It's true, and we sell it too on Megalife 21.
Biologists Susie von Oettingen walked into the dark
What
world
names?
War II era military bunker and took out her flashlight.
Yeah.
Among the old pipes, wires, and machinery parts, she saw some bats hanging from cracks.
You mean Deflatormaus, as they say in
the
German?
concrete wall
As they say in German, Deflatormaus?
and ceiling.
Okay.
It was an unusual place for the bats to hibernate, different from a mine or a cave. But something else was different too. None of them
Right.
had white nose syndrome,
Oh, gee.
a fungus.
Not brown nose syndrome, like you corporate ass kissers, you conservative corporate ass kissers. Brown nose syndrome, get it? Get it? This is white nose syndrome.
A fungus that is killing bats across the country. The group of bats found last winter in the New Hampshire bunker was small. An endangered species. Biologist for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is von Ottingen.
Von Ottingen.
But two of the three species discovered there, the northern long-eared bat and the little brown bat, have been dying off from the disease.
This is no joke, man. Bats eat many times their own weight in mosquitoes, right? And maybe gnats and moths.
Oh yeah.
Moth,
All the insects.
Gnats, is it gnat or gnat?
Gnat.
Well, how come Nat King Cole didn't spell it the same way? He seems G-N-A-T is the bug, right?
Because of the English language.
Gnat, the G is silent. It's the only language I know of where letters are silent. Well, why do the English put them there?
Silent and the same word can mean two different things.
It sounds the same. Like I threw the baseball. T-H-R-E-W. I walked through the doorway. T-H-O-U.
T-H-R-O-U.
Through.
G-H.
T-H-R-O-U-G-H.
There you go.
What the hell you need a G-H for? What the fuck?
Starting as early as next month, von Ottingen will be part of a group of state and federal biologists monitoring that bunker and a few others in the state. They will study temperature, humidity levels, put up footholds for the bats, hoping to attract.
Now you want to go outside?
And figure out
Fucking up my video?
is a way to control white.
Excuse me, there's an
nose
adorable kitty here. We love animals here. Come on, honey. All right. I'm sorry. There was a very cute female. Is it a female?
Female Maine Coon.
Maine Coon cat. Adorable.
Gato.
Very big.
El gato.
El gato, as they say in Spanish. I'm sorry. Where were we?
Last spring, scientists said 90% of New Jersey's bat population was killed
Yeah.
by the fungus. 90%.
Among Us. 90%.
The disease,
Shit.
which appears to affect bats mostly during winter hibernation, has killed more than 1 million in the Northeast and has spread to at least 11 states.
So, first we have fish and birds dying all over the world. Then the Tasmanian devils have a mysterious, contagious cancer, killing them off. Now it's bats. Or bees, too. Remember the bee problem?
Bees, yeah.
Bats, bees. The world is in trouble. We're living in the end times. 2012, Mayan calendar. Ooh, there's nothing to joke about. Hey, Dr. Bill, I think there's there might be 2 brown bats under my scarf.
Probably mice.
Mice?
Because the bunkers would be controlled artificial settings, biologists also might be able to experiment with different treatments for the bats with the disease without worrying about how a spray or drug might affect other organisms. One of the challenges is encouraging enough bats to use the bunkers. They move around on the landscape, so it may be that they will naturally colonize it, or we may bring some in. There's tons of bunkers of all different kinds out there on the landscape, from World War II, the Cold War era, and afterwards. Now the question is, do some of these bats, do some of these bunkers have bats? And so far we haven't found any more.
Bat bunkers.
Bats,
I like the way it sounds.
bats hang out in all sorts of man-made structures.
Gothic rock bars.
Cathedrals.
Gothic rock bars. Oh, Gothic cathedrals.
But the idea of monitoring
Maybe
them
Winchester Cathedral. No.
for white nose syndrome
Stupid song back in the 60s.
in an artificial setting is relatively new. Tennessee has about 15 species of bats, roughly half of which are potentially susceptible to the white nose syndrome.
Yeah, maybe if they drank Tennessee bourbon there, Jack Daniels, they won't get the white nose syndrome.
At least several hundred bats were found with symptoms last year. No deaths have been reported yet. We don't know with real certainty if it'll work. In October, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service came out with a plan to investigate the cause of disease in which a white fungus develops around bat muzzles, ears, and wing membranes, and find ways to manage it. Biologists say fewer bats, which eat insects, could lead to increased numbers of insect pests.
This is not confusing these animals with the fruit bats of the
Fruit-eating bat,
of the East Indies of Indonesia,
which requires vitamin C.
which are the largest,
Like humans.
which are the largest bats, often called the flying foxes, because they have a fox-like face, and they're also the better looking of the bat species, but they eat fruit.
Biologists say fewer bats, which eat insects, could lead to increased numbers of insect pests, resulting in harm to agriculture and forests.
Sure, the food chain is disrupted, right? The ecology.
It is estimated that white nose syndrome will continue to spread, partly because the fungus can be carried on human clothing.
Well, we have. I also saw some videos on YouTube about the mysterious alien-like creatures that live in our deepest ocean depths, miles and miles down. You know, they're always discovering, Dr. Bill, new species.
Yeah.
And even they're in trouble, affected by pollution in the ocean. So, because of, I just want to remind everyone periodically, as Dr. Bill reads these articles, because of corporate greed, which causes pollution, the earth is progressively and slowly dying, which will in turn kill us. So, you know, conservatives must think that caskets have pockets because they think they're going to take it with them. Or if the second coming of Christ takes place, they must think that they're going to take it with them. So they don't care if they kill us
Do not
all.
lay up treasure in heaven, is what the Bible says.
Do not lay up treasure in heaven. You're not going to take it with you, your Glenn Becks, your big mouth fuck.
You see the Pharaohs
and your
trying to take it with
Sean Hannity's, and what's the other jabroni?
Rush Limbaugh.
Bill O'Reilly's,
Bill
Rush
O'Reilly.
Limbaugh. Yes, all of them. You're not going to take it with you. So the joke's going to be on you. Chris Christie, the man who, if he sacrificed some of his grocery bill, New Jersey's soup kitchens will become literally Atlantic City buffets. You're not going to take it with you.
Under the plan,
I think the scarf gives
state
me
agencies
newfound
will
energy and
monitor
power. Yeah.
bat populations and design disease management programs. The federal government will help with research, education, funding, and testing. In New Hampshire, surveys last year showed that the state lost over half of its hibernating bats. The thing about white nose is it is an unprecedented disease. We have never seen a disease in wildlife that affects so many species and is so rapidly fatal, spread so incredibly rapidly.
Wow. This is serious. This is not just about bats, which I happen to love, because I love things that are gothic. I have a very extensive, large gargoyle collection. I like Gothic. I like Gothic rock. I like Gothic things. I think Gothic environments are very cozy. You know, they're dimly lit, and you might have black light, and you might have gargoyles and skeletons, and which I happen to like too. Anyway, yeah, ooh, very appropriate. Actually, the Wizard Azibuko got me involved with Gothic. You know, he's the one. Him and Esmeralda, they both love Gothic. They got me into the Gothic
Cathedral.
kick, the Gothic obsession here. I think the oldest and largest Gothic cathedral, well, the largest at least, I think is in Cologne, Germany.
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's not Notre Dame in France.
No. No, Notre Dame is not Gothic, I don't even think. Gothic is when you got all them big spires going up, points and all
Well,
that.
Notre Dame does have a lot of gargoyles.
Well, yeah, not the gargoyles so much, but the way the architecture is, the points, the spires.
Now, when Popeye called Olive Oil, when he said me Goyle friend, he didn't mean that she was a gargoyle. Me Goyle? Anyway, it's this cheesy joke. Now, Sweet Pea, no one ever told anyone who Sweet Pea was. Was Sweet Pea Olive Oil's child?
No.
Was he adopted? Was he found on a doorstep? Or
I don't know what the hell he was.
What the hell
Might have
was
been
he?
a cousin or something.
he just showed up in the
Sweet
cartoon?
Pea shows up.
Well, they can never make.
I will pay you Tuesday if you'll give me a hamburger today.
Oh, that was Wimpy. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. I bet the conservative Republicans would call Wimpy a mooch and a liberal freeloader or something. I bet they would they would insult him because
Scrooge McDuck. That's what they love.
they love Scrooge and Ebenezer Scrooge. They wouldn't like Wimpy from Popeye, the Republicans. You know, Chris Christie probably would have bad things to say about Wimpy from Popeye because he would want all the hamburgers for himself.
One of the solar system's most evocative mysteries
Yeah.
is the origin of Saturn's rings.
They're moons that go around Saturn.
It may be a case of cosmic murder.
Cosmic murder. Wow.
The victim, an unnamed moon of Saturn that disappeared about 4.5 billion years
Was
ago.
that Moon Mullins?
The suspect, a disk of hydrogen gas that once surrounded Saturn when its dozens of moons were forming, but has now fled the crime scene.
I hate this fucking machine. Yeah.
The cause of death, a forced plunge into Saturn.
Really?
And those spectacular and colorful rings are the only evidence left as the doomed moon made its death spiral.
You know, I think Saturn's ring contains the famous moon, I believe, atmosphere, and maybe bacteria stuff, or Europa. I think it's in Saturn's ring.
Saturn robbed its outer layer of ice, which then formed rings. According to a new theory published online Sunday in the journal Nature, Saturn was an accomplice, and that produced the rings. The mystery of Saturn's rings has puzzled people for centuries. One of the leading theories has been that either some of Saturn's many moons crashed into each other, or an asteroid crashed into some of them,
Really?
leaving debris.
Debris? Oh, debris.
That
Debris.
formed the rings.
Another silent word.
The trouble is Saturn's moons are half ice and half rock. And the planet's 7 rings are now as much as 95% ice.
So what you're saying is most of Saturn's moons are like little round, well not little, big round Antarcticas? as a combination of ice and rock?
sculptures. Ice sculptures.
Ice sculptures, because Antarctica is a continent. There's land down there, not the North Pole. That's all frozen water.
The planet's seven rings are now as much as 95% ice, and probably used to be all ice.
Oh. What? Snowballs?
If the rings were formed by a moon on moon crash or an asteroid on moon collision, there would be more rocks in the rings. Something had to have stripped away the outer ice of a moon, a big moon. So, its theory starts billions of years ago when the planet's moons were forming. A large disk of hydrogen gas circled Saturn, and that helped both create and destroy moons. Large inner moons probably made regular plunges into the planet, pulled by the disk of gas.
Wow. Cool, man. I love science, especially outer space. You know, they should do. They never did a remake of Captain James T. Kirk against the captain of the Gorn ship, the big lizard. They never did a remake of that.
Lately,
I never found the authentic three-dimensional chessboard from Spock either. They have these other crappy ones on the internet. They're only three levels. That's not the authentic one.
a handful of new discoveries make it seem more likely that we are not alone, that there is life somewhere else in the universe. In the past several days, scientists have reported that there are 3 times as many stars as they previously thought.
So the universe is actually larger than infinity, or larger than they originally thought?
Another group of researchers discovered that a microbe can live on arsenic, expanding our understanding of how life can thrive under the harshest environments. Earlier this year, astronomers were, for the first time, said they'd found a potentially habitable planet.
Well, the only hope for mankind on Earth to achieve intergalactic travel and reach these other planets is to perfect the science of utilizing wormholes, because you can't reach the speed of light and end up in one piece and healthy and alive.
Even if you can reach the speed of light, that still doesn't guarantee that you can traverse the cosmos.
Live to tell about it. No, you gotta use wormholes, and because the universe supposedly bends, according to astrophysicists.
Warp.
Warps.
The evidence is just getting stronger and stronger, said Carl Pilcher, director of NASA's Astrobiology Institute, which studies the origins, evolution, and possibilities of life in the universe. I think anybody looking at this evidence is going to say there's got to be life out there.
Yeah, well, but then if you're a Christian and you believe 100% in the Bible, then you cannot possibly believe in evolution, right?
That depends on what kind of Christian you are.
Certain sciences.
Because 99% of all Christians do not believe in what's in the Bible, and do not know what's in the Bible, and do not understand what is in the Bible.
So what you're saying right now, Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, is 99% of all Christians today are counterfeit Christians. False Christians, and do not know their Bible, but possibly only thump it. Do you hear that, right-wing conservative Republicans? You hear that, Glenn Beck? Mr. Big Mouth?
A caveat.
You know, I had a nightmare about Glenn Beck having his entire head was. You ever see the thing they sell at the magic shop with the chattering teeth that goes like this? His whole head was a huge chattering, like this. It didn't stop.
Probably what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Rush Limbaugh could be that way.
You just symbolized it, you know?
Yeah, it's.
Where was I? Caveat.
Caviar.
Caveat.
Beluga caviar?
Since much of this research is new, scientists are still debating how solid the conclusions are. Some scientists this week have publicly criticized how NASA's arsenic-using microbe study was conducted, questioning its validity. Another reason not to get too excited is that the search for life starts small, microscopically small, and then looks to evolution for more. The first signs of life elsewhere are more likely to be closer to slime mold than to E.T. E.T. phone home?
I hated that movie. I don't like any of that Steven Spielberg bullshit. I despise Star Wars.
It can evolve from there.
Yeah.
Scientists have an equation that calculates the odds of civilized life on another planet, but much of it includes factors that are pure guesswork on less than astronomical factors, such as the likelihood of the evolution of intelligence and how long civilizations last. Stripped to its simplistic core, with the requirement for intelligence and civilization removed, the calculations hinge on two basic factors. How many places out there can support life? And how hard is it for life to take root? What last week's findings did was both increase the number of potential homes for life and broaden the definition of what life is. That means the probability for alien life is higher than ever before. 10 scientists interviewed agreed.
Okay. You know what? That completes that. Want to take a little break? Okay, before I take a little break.
Hold on. I think this is a small thing here.
All right, we'll read one small article.
Continuing.
I'll do a little promo, and then we'll take a break.
Continuing in the cosmos.
Might as well.
The universe may glitter with far more stars than even Carl Sagan imagined.
Poor Carl
And
Sagan.
he was talking
May he rest in
billions,
peace, yeah.
billions.
Billions and billions and billions of stars, yeah.
A new study suggests there are a mind-blowing 306 trillion, sextillion of them.
I like that number. Sextillion.
That's a big number.
Tillion. Titillating sextillion.
Or 3 times as many
Or is
as
it titillating?
scientists previously calculated.
Really?
That is 3, followed by 23 zeros.
Holy shit.
It's a big number.
Wow.
Or 3 trillion times 100 billion. The estimate contained in a study published online Wednesday in the journal Nature is based on findings that there are many more red dwarf stars, the most common star in the universe,
Yeah.
than once thought. But the research goes deeper than that. The study by Yale University astronomer Peter van Dokkum
Duck home? Quack,
Duck
quack.
home.
Quack.
and Harvard astrophysicist Charlie Conroy questions a key assumption that astronomers often use, that most galaxies have the same properties as our Milky Way. And that conclusion is deeply unsettling to astronomers who want the more orderly cosmos. When scientists previously estimated the total number of stars, they assumed that all galaxies had the same ratio of dwarf stars as the Milky Way, which is a spiral-shaped which is spiral-shaped. Much of our understanding of the universe is based on observations made inside our own galaxy and then extrapolated to other galaxies. But about 1/3 of the galaxies in the universe are elliptical, not spiral. Using the Keck telescope in Hawaii, Van Dachem and a colleague gazed into 8 distant elliptical galaxies and looked at their hard-to-differentiate light signatures. The scientists calculated that elliptical galaxies have more red dwarf stars than predicted, a lot more. We're seeing 10 or 20 times more stars than we expected, Van Dachem said.
Van Dachem, wow. It's amazing. Yeah, as soon as you think you've heard everything, you haven't. There's always something to learn every week that goes by. I just want to apologize to our viewers about all the friggin' racket that's going on in the Newsletter Censored Research Center, because not only do we have this damn furnace to contend with, and Reverend Dr. Bill has to increase his vocal volume, but we have this meeting going on with the Newsletter Censored Research Center office team, and the meeting is still commencing, and their overall volume is a bit too loud.
Maybe there are too many donuts.
No, they're all women. That's the problem. Ay ay ay, cacchiarone. Okay, now before we take a break, that's an Italian word for chatterbox. This painting to my right, which is to your left, of course. I always say that. This is a self-portrait by the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. He has a collection of fine watercolor paintings. You can see the William J. Eisenman collection at his Facebook profile, his William J. Eisenman Facebook profile, at www.myspace.com/megalife21, and at where? Oh, newslettercensored.com, which is where you can get your free annual subscription with your gift to support this work by going to www.newslettercensored.com. Click on the printable order form after you read all the hard-hitting information, and with your gift to support this work, get your free annual subscription of the newsletter that started it all. This is the very foundation of our organization, founded in 1977 by the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. It contains the 5 taboos of American life: politics, religion, sex, health, and child rearing, as well as current news topics in tidbits when applicable. It contains The God Project by William J. Eisenman, Doctor of Divinity. It contains Sexuality, a Holistic Approach by the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. So get it now. This is the best way to be a part of our organization, is to get your annual subscription to the newsletter. More information is in this newsletter than are on our talk shows or on our websites. Now, may I show the people what a virgin young watercolor painting looks like that you just started? For those
Well, why not show that one that's almost finished too?
Oh, okay. Because I don't think a lot of people.
See how it appears on camera.
I don't think a lot of people
That's the Virgin.
have seen what a new, watercolor painting really looks like. This is a painting of a friend of the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. Her name is Sharon. He just started this painting. It is not finished. For you slow people out there that voted for the Republican Congress, I'm gonna talk a little slow to you.
Hold it up more.
Listen to me,
Hold it up more.
red state America. This watercolor painting was just started by Dr. Bill. Her name is Sharon. When it's done, we will show you. But this is what a watercolor painting that just started looks like. Is it on camera? All right, got it? That's a virgin painting. Not bad for a painting that just started. Now, for you jabronis out there, this painting is almost done. What do you think? 97%? 98%? 99%? What do you think? In the upper 90s. This painting is almost finished. Okay, and even though it has his signature, when the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman says the painting is not finished, it is not finished. It is, but almost finished. This is another friend of the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman by the name of his former copy editor.
I don't know that. I don't know about.
We don't know yet. All right, it's pending. His current copy editor for Newsletter Censored, Shell Monroe. This is Shell Monroe. There's a few other paintings of Shell Monroe that are in your gallery. Anyway, this is almost done. Shell Monroe. Got it? Got it on camera?
Got it.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to enlighten our viewers as to what we do. Anyway, we're going to take a small break, and of course, we will combine everything into one big show for the internet. Oh boy. Welcome. We are back from our little break. I am James P. Madonna of Mega Life 21, the hardest hitting internet talk radio station on the planet. I am here with my co-host and mentor, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, and we are here at the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. How are you, sir? You doing all right?
Fine.
Still here. This is Discussions Volume 2, and this is, of course, the newsletter that started it all, Newsletter Censored. This is a brand new issue titled The Hidden Enemy by William J. Eisenman, Ph.D. This is the best way to be a part of our organization. Get your annual subscription with your gift to support this work now at www.newslettercensored.com. And, of course, this painting beside me is an example of the William J. Eisenman collection of fine watercolor paintings. This is a self-portrait of Dr. Bill. Now, we will continue. Oh, before you continue with the article, we had a little discussion while we were on break about how astronomically expensive college tuition is in the United States, even technical schools. But let's take something really astronomical and a real highway robbery is Ivy League colleges. You know, your Harvards, your Princetons. Is Yale involved in it? Yale. But, all right, now, Dr. Bill tells me when a new student goes to an Ivy League college and they pay by student loan, the bank pays off the Ivy League college in full. So if the course costs $85,000, the school gets the whole thing paid off in full, which really is a ripoff that they charge that amount. And then the bank takes the loss until the student pays it off. But the problem is when the student graduates, there's no jobs out there, despite of what the right-wing conservative Republicans say. There are no jobs out there. So why is the American student that gets suckered into, with all these commercials about, have an exciting, rewarding new career?
Yeah, it's his fault that he doesn't have a job. He needs more education. He needs more... Retrain.
This is what corporate America likes to say. America needs to be retrained,
right.
retrained. Yeah, right. Retrained in what?
We don't need garbage men anymore. We don't need street cleaners anymore. We don't need handymen anymore, We need astrophysicists.
I don't know.
Everybody's got to be an astrophysicist.
I don't know what we need. Even the medical profession is like laying off people. Hospitals are laying off people. It's incredible. But I don't know. There's no hope. I think we are in the end times. We are in the end times. And, now that the Republicans have control of the Congress, forget it, man. The end time Bible prophecy will become a reality. Now, continue, sir, with the next article.
The discovery of a strange bacterium that can use arsenic as one of its nutrients widens the scope for finding new forms of life on Earth and beyond. While researchers discovered the unusual bacterium here on the Earth, they say it shows that life has possibilities beyond the major elements that have been considered essential. This organism has dual capability. It can grow with either phosphorus or arsenic. That makes it very peculiar, though it falls short of being some form of truly alien life.
Uh-huh.
6 major elements have long been considered essential for life: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. But the researchers found that the bacterium discovered in Mono Lake, California,
Mono Lake? What is that? Mononucleosis lake?
MONO,
Okay, Mono Lake.
is able to continue to grow after substituting arsenic for phosphorus.
Right.
It makes you wonder what else is possible, said Ariel D. Anbar of ASU, a co-author of the report. The find is important in the search for life beyond Earth because researchers need to be able to recognize life to know what life looks like, said Anbar.
Okay. Sounds good. Very good article, sir. Hopefully our very sensitive, what is it, low impedance or low impedance microphones? Low impedance, they call it.
Picking it up?
Are picking it up over the big meeting that our staff is having in the other office, in the other room. The staff we have at the Newsletter Censored Research Center are cackling away at a very high volume.
A leading medical group says there is some evidence that probiotics or good bacteria may have limited benefits for certain illnesses in children. But the group says the science is not yet strong enough to advocate infant formulas containing probiotics. Now, how many times have you heard that? Whenever you see an article on a nutrient or vitamin or mineral or something of that nature that maybe has thousands of studies behind it,
Proving
they
it.
always say at the end, oh, well, don't go out and buy it yet. You know, we need more evidence.
Yeah, the greedy, drug-pushing pharmaceutical industry needs to do more testing, which they won't do because they can't patent it. I mentioned, when I did Health Talk, Volume 11, this past Friday, it was yesterday, yesterday, I mentioned it to my viewers that, you know, it was on the news, on the CBS News here in the New York metropolitan area. They talked about the cold and flu season we're having in this very severe winter, and they talked about homeopathic medicine. They talked about natural medicine, vitamins, herbs, and things. And they interviewed alternative physicians, medical nutritionists, and homeopaths. And after all the wonderful positive input, I think his name is Dr. Max Gomez, traditional allopathic drug-pushing medical doctor. Just
I believe that's CBS?
CBS, Channel 2 here in New York metro area. Just like all the other major network news programs, they have a drug-pushing allopathic medical doctor to represent the station. Of course, the sponsors can't have Dr. Gary Null do a nightly, editorial thing. No, they can't. They got to have a drug-pushing doctor. Dr. Max Gomez says there's not enough evidence because there's insufficient testing. Well, of course there's insufficient testing. The drug companies cannot patent Mother Nature. They can't greedily capitalize on Mother Nature. They can't rip you off. They cannot patent it, so therefore they will not spend the money on the testing, the double-blind placebo studies that are needed. But what about the drugs? What about the drugs
they get the fast track.
They're taken off the market because people died or people had the negative side effects of all these drugs. Oh no, the pharmaceuticals have to go to market right away.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why you get bombarded day and night concerning drugs. day and night. You get bombarded, and they give you the negative side effects. Okay, they probably have to, but you're bombarded with it, and they got smiling people that look so grateful that this drug is available. You know, these corporate ass kissers that, you know, get paid.
Well, the DSM-4, of course, and the DSM-5 when it comes out, they are now psychologizing everything in life. If you
syndrome.
Yeah, if you they have now social anxiety disorder. If you don't want to go out, you know, in a crowd, or
that's called.
Or how about in Egypt now, where they're rioting over there? Or maybe you don't want to join in the riot. Oh, he has a disease. He's got social anxiety disorder. He doesn't want to go with the group.
I think that's called agoraphobia, social anxiety.
No, it's called being careful.
Or what do you call the kids that take Ritalin unnecessarily?
ADHD.
Attention deficit disorder. No, the truth is
hyperactivity disorder.
The truth is the kids are getting too much sugar in their diet. They're getting too much crap, sugar, candy. The parents are allowing, because the younger generation parents are afraid to say no to their children because they want to be loved. You know, the younger generation parents are similar to today's Democrats.
Liberals, yeah.
Dummycrats. Now, we're liberals. We're progressive liberals, Dr. Bill and I. But we have dummycrats now, because the dummycrats want to be loved by everybody, including the Republicans. They want to be in bed with the Republicans and make nice with them. That's why you have all this bipartisanship bullshit nowadays that people did not vote for in November of 2008. You hear that, Obama? They did not vote. Nancy Pussy Pelosi and all the rest of their ilk, they did not vote for bipartisanship. They voted for a drastic change in what G.W. Bush and Cheney did to this country for 8 years. A drastic change. The hell with bipartisanship. You're not gonna. You know what the Republicans. You're not gonna get the Republicans to compromise and love you.
Bipartisanship to them means you'll do what I want. That's what it means.
Well, the Republicans came out with it. It didn't sound like they're interested in bipartisanship.
No. They said they want Obama to fail. And they will do all they can to make the man fail.
The Democratic Party has screwed themselves again, shot themselves in the foot. It's unbelievable. And now, one of my favorite shows of all time is nowhere to be found on True TV. Conspiracy Theory with Jesse the Governor Ventura. Did the powers that be in Washington force the sponsors to take Jesse's show off the air, and True TV became a corporate ass kisser just like all the rest of them?
Who knows? Because we don't know. Nobody has said anything.
Jesse, if you see these videos, you have our 100% support, and you can see all of the full episodes uninterrupted of Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura on our Mega Life 21 hard-hitting internet talk radio station. Just simply go to newslettercensored.com, and at the top of the front page there's the link to our radio station. Go there, and when our station is not on the air, you know, today's Saturday, so you're going to hear health talk, but when we're not on the air, unless you find a way to shut the station off, the playlist, the video playlist, is right there on a little down further on the page. The second video playlist down from the top, you will see Jesse Ventura's Conspiracy Theory. All of the full episodes are there, whether they were banned or not. They're all there. So just click and enjoy. Kick back and just enjoy every one of them. Full episodes, man. Corporate and FCC free, brother. All right, continue, sir.
And probiotics should not be given to children who are seriously ill. That is, according to a new American Academy of Pediatrics report published today in Pediatrics. About 500 different bacteria live naturally in a healthy human's intestinal tract.
Yeah, I was just going to say that we naturally need and have, to different degrees, probiotics. They're essential to life. They're great. It's one of the most versatile, important nutritional supplements next to essential fatty acids available.
We have a new problem that develops when people take antibiotics.
Kills off like the late great Carlton Fredericks. Dr. Carlton Fredericks used to say, you throw out the baby with the bathwater when you take antibiotics, because it also kills off the probiotics that are very much needed for your health.
So what happens is, in extreme forms,
Right.
Clostridium C. diff, they call it. Clostridium diff is one of the bugs that is killed off. Now this doctor, what he's doing is he has to take somebody's poop and take the bacteria from the poop and implant it in the person's bowel
You mean stick
that has lost it.
stick somebody else's shit up somebody else's ass, like a poopy suppository?
A shit transplant.
No, can't they just take a full spectrum probiotic supplement?
Well, I would think that.
There's excellent ones out there. Really, there are.
I would think doing that to prevent losing that bug.
Just go to SwansonVitamins.com if you're on a budget and want to save money. They got some outstanding probiotic supplements, and some of them have FOS, which is a food to give the probiotics a head start. I believe it's fructooligosaccharides, which are found in bananas, from what I understand. And but the thing is, I'll give you an example. Lactobacillus acidophilus naturally occurs in the small intestines, and bifidobacterium, whatever, bifidus, naturally lives in the colon. Those are two examples of probiotics.
The other example of when you kill off all those good bugs is yeast overgrowth,
Candida albicans infection, yeast overgrowth, first thing that happens, man. You need it. You have to have it. The only yogurt, the only national, well, it's not, well, it might be nationally advertised, but we have it here in the Northeast because it comes from Vermont. There's a company called Stonyfields from Vermont. It's organic, full-spectrum probiotic yogurt.
but it has to be unpasteurized. If you pasteurize them, you're killing them.
You're right about that. You're a very smart man. Because if it truly was certified organic, it will not be pasteurized. It's not homogeneous. Wait a minute. What does it mean? Like when the butter fat is on the top of the yogurt container, that means
unhomogenized.
it's unhomogenized,
Right.
but it's probably by law still pasteurized, which means it's not certified raw milk. So in a true sense of getting the real stamp of certified organic, it's not complete. Like Carlton Fredericks used to advertise Switzerland Swiss Emmentaler cheese from Switzerland, and the commercial was that the cheesemaker gets raw milk from local nearby dairies, which is supposed to, it's what we're supposed to have here in America. Local farming, organic, relying on local businesses, mom and pop entrepreneurs, small business, everything's supposed to be local. And, you look, take the supplement until Codex Alimentarius takes away your God-given right to maintain optimum health and buy and take nutritional supplements. Until that happens, get a good full-spectrum probiotic supplement. Keep it in the refrigerator, by the way. When you open it up, put it right in the fridge. It should be refrigerated, along with anything with oils, omega-3 fish oils, flaxseed oil, borage oil, oil of evening primrose should be refrigerated also. All right, Chief.
For years, companies have been making claims that their probiotic pills, yogurts, milks, and juices help digestive health and the immune system. The new report summarizes findings from high-quality scientific studies on some of the active ingredients in the products. The report says probiotics taken early during diarrhea from a viral infection may shorten the illness in otherwise healthy children. And probiotics also may prevent diarrhea in children who are taking antibiotics, which can sometimes cause the condition. On the other hand, more evidence is needed, here we go again, for the AAP before it can recommend probiotics for constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, or Crohn's disease. And there is not enough evidence for recommending probiotics in pregnant women or infants to prevent eczema or asthma.
Does AAP stand for asinine asshole pricks?
No, that was for the American Academy of Pediatrics.
Okay, sorry about that.
But you were close. Your acronym was a little closer than theirs.
The reality of what it should be. Yeah.
Future research may find more benefits and prebiotics, which contain fiber and other nutrients that feed probiotics, that's your FOS bacteria, also may someday prove helpful. One warning: children with compromised immune systems or who use intravenous catheters should not receive probiotics because serious infections have been reported. I don't see what that has to do with anything.
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
The bacteria in the products are helpful only if they are alive, which is not always the case. Consumers should keep in mind that a large percentage of organisms in a probiotic supplement may die before the product is even purchased. And labels can be misleading or incorrect.
Well, for you idiots out there that are that worship the very ground that your drug-pushing allopathic family primary physician says to you, and you absolutely flat out refuse to take quote-unquote pills, which, you know, in reality
30 pills a day.
Nutritional supplementation are food. They're not pills, and they may save your excuse me, they may save your life and or extend your life and prevent the aging process. But if you refuse to take the capsules of probiotics because you're a fucking idiot, take the Stonyfield yogurt. No, not the one with the sugar. Take the plain Stonyfield yogurt with a banana, because you're getting full spectrum, not as good as the supplement, but you're getting full spectrum probiotics with FOS in the banana.
Yeah,
so you don't
some-
have to take your pills.
Some of your supplements of probiotics may have 5 to 10 billion in a pill. And that's nothing compared to a yogurt or these. Now, these things that they're selling, Activia and the other brand,
No, they're crap.
now these are, they have to be pasteurized.
They're pasteurized.
So they're garbage.
They're probably loaded with
They're
sugar.
garbage.
They're loaded with sugar because America has this obsession with sweetness, with having a sweet tooth. That's why the obesity is like 30% of America, right? Obesity.
And you should see
epidemic.
And you should see some of those obese people. I mean, you've seen the
reality shows.
Not the cartoons, the pictures that are being sent around on emails about Walmart shoppers. I mean, those people are pathetic.
You're talking about red state, redneck America, where, you know, for some reason, poor people in America, poor people in other countries, they still eat a natural, salt-of-the-earth, high-fiber diet, even though, you know, it's mostly vegetables and roots, and, you know, they're still eating natural foods. But poor people in America eat the garbage, the toxic poison from the supermarket, right? Because why? Because their politicians in Washington are all for the American food industry. So the supermarket shelves are chock full of crap with chemicals and sugar and sodium and trans fats, hydrogenated oils. So that's why America is very sick. And of course, the drug-pushing medical profession,
like that.
they love it, because, and the drug companies, they're happier than a pig in shit, because they have a constant supply, a guarantee of a constant supply,
Captive audience.
of a captive audience of more and more sick people getting sicker by the day.
Yeah.
You know, and Activia, look, it's all crap. All the advertisements you see on TV, even nutritional supplements that are always on television.
Yeah, heart-healthy Cheerios.
Oh, loaded with sugar and white refined oat flour, like the annoying guy that cries and goes, "You don't care about my heart, my heart. I eat Cheerios." And he's eating, what is he eating? Honey roasted, honey frost, honey Cheerios with sugar. What an idiot! You know, and all this bullshit. You care about my fiber? You know, stick it up your ass. Well, actually, that's where fiber should be. Well, no, it should start from the mouth.
Yeah,
It should
go
start
down
from the mouth and come out of the ass, right? But the point is, they're all lies. Corporate lies, man, and the lobbyists are paying off the politicians that you voted for. And you don't even know if there's a worthy independent candidate, because they never get invited to the debates. So you get...
And they don't get articles printed about them, and they don't get on the radio, and they don't get on television because they don't have any money.
They don't have any money. Now look what happened to us in New Jersey. John Corzine sucked, so people were pretty pissed off at him. And then who do we have left? We don't see the independent candidates because the media doesn't give them fair time to get to know the people. We have Chris Christie. So it's either business as usual with billionaire John Corzine, who is a Goldman Sachs person. Yeah, Democrat, Goldman Sachs.
However,
It doesn't go together, does it? And then you have Crisco Christie.
However,
so you have sometimes the lesser of the two evils going from the furnace into the frying pan, or the frying pan back into the furnace.
However, under Mr. Corzine, the elderly and the disabled participated in the property tax rebate situation, thereby giving them money every month. I mean, not every month, every year,
Yeah,
so that they could participate in the economy.
really?
Under Mr. Balloon Boy, that is all gone.
That's Chris Christie.
Yeah, that's gone.
Oh, you got nothing on the Balloon Boy. He wants to cut everything. He wants to privatize
Except
everything.
he did give a tax cut to the rich.
To the rich, yeah.
Yeah.
Privatize everything. Get rid of Planned Parenthood. Get rid of all social programs.
Sacrifice.
He doesn't even want to give welfare to people unless they have young children. Did you know that Social Security disability determination is made by somebody that's part of the state? Like in New Jersey, why is somebody from the state making decisions for
On a federal
Social Security? Yeah, for a federal program, Social Security disability. What does the state, especially a state run by Chris Christie, that would rather have you drop dead and starve to death in the damn street, why are they making decisions for Social Security disability? It's incredible.
Why does New Jersey have an office of faith-based initiative?
Does that mean they're shoving religion down people's throats?
That
Or
means they're giving money to religions.
what kind of religion?
Probably only Christians.
You mean right-wing fundamentalist Christians?
Yeah.
The kind that like to stick their big Pinocchio nose in everybody's business
Yeah.
and make judgmental calls every chance they
That's
get?
the ones.
Interesting.
That's the ones. New research shows the great dinosaur die-off made way for mammals to explode in size. Some more massive than several elephants put together.
You mean like a mammoth? A woolly mammoth or mastodon?
We'll find out.
Okay.
The largest land mammal ever was a rhinoceros-like creature,
Yeah.
minus the horn.
No horn. He wasn't horny?
It stood 18 feet tall
Wow.
and weighed roughly 17 tons.
So he was so damn big, he didn't need a horn. He just stepped
Unless
on.
people got in his way.
He just stepped on you.
Ooga, ooga.
My natural means of defense is simply to
Blow my horn.
me step on you, you get crushed. That's a little caveman talk. You get crushed.
And he grazed in forests in what is now Eurasia. It makes the better-known woolly mammoth seem like a bit puny.
Really?
Tracking such prehistoric giants is more than a curiosity. It sheds new light on the evolution of mammals as they diversified to fill habitats left vacant by the dinosaurs.
I'm not urinating, viewers. I'm pouring my antioxidant-rich green tea with mixed berries that you see me drink on Health Talk.
Within 25 million years
I don't want to get the wrong idea.
of the dinosaurs' extinction,
Yeah.
fast in geological terms, overall land mammals had reached a maximum size and then leveled off. An international team of scientists reports on Friday in the journal Science. And while different species on different continents reached their peaks at different points in time, that pattern of evolution was remarkably similar worldwide. Evolution can happen very quickly when ecology permits,
Uh-huh.
said paleontologist Felisa Smith of the University of New Mexico.
Felicio Smith? Felicia, I'm sorry.
This is really coming down to ecology allowing this to happen. Anyone who frequents natural history museums knows that the end of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago ushered in the age of mammals, and that some of them were gigantic.
Gigantic?
Gigantic.
Gigantor.
But the new study is the first comprehensive mapping of these giants in a way that helps explain how and why their size evolved. We didn't have a clear idea of how the story went after the extinction of the dinosaurs. Previous theories suggested that species diversity drove increases in size, but the new study didn't find that connection. It suggests there's a deeper explanation of how large body size evolves in mammals. Mammals did coexist with dinosaurs, but small ones, ranging from about the size of a mouse to the maximum of a small dog.
Yeah, because they didn't get the opportunity to grow. They were usually eaten very quickly, so they probably had
They were prey.
they had to be in hiding all the time.
They were prey.
in burrows.
We were pretty much the vermins, scurrying around the feet of the dinosaurs.
You mean humans or mammals? We are vermin.
I would say,
the human
I would
race.
say, no. They're not talking about humans. They're talking about.
We're talking about
mammals.
the average size of mammals that occurred.
The human being is a mammalian creature.
Mammalian, Homo sapien. Now, towards the end, before the great demise of the dinosaur, what they're saying is there probably were small mammalians,
Little guys running around.
little guys scurrying about like shrews and moles and what have you.
To see how that changed, researchers funded by the National Science Foundation collected fossil data on the maximum sizes attained by all major groups of mammals on each continent throughout their evolutionary history. How do they know the sizes? Smith said, mammal teeth not only tend to preserve better than bones, but they correlate very well with body mass. The largest was that 17-ton rhino-like Indricotherium.
Holy shit. Indricotherium. Pause for a second. This
Until the blower comes up.
wonderful furnace does this little thing where it goes. Anyway,
Followed closely by an elephant-like creature named Deinotherium
oh really?
in Africa.
In Africa.
Smith said, contrast them to modern elephants, which average about 3 to 5 tons. The herbivores grew large first. perhaps because they had an advantage in eating the vegetation left flourishing after the plant.
Oh man, I wish this thing was a real living entity. I friggin' kicked the shit out of it.
After the plant-eating dinosaurs were gone,
Right.
just like with today's lions and elephants. The largest carnivores who came along a bit later remained an order of magnitude smaller than the biggest prehistoric herbivores.
Yeah.
Why did mammal size level off? Available land area and the Earth's temperature, Smith said. 90% of the food mammals eat goes to maintaining their core body temperature.
Right.
And the amount of food is related to the amount of land supporting a population.
I bet it was fat content in the food they ate, or maybe just the massive volume of vegetarian material to produce body fat.
The biggest mammals evolved when a cooler climate meant lower sea levels and more land area. More food.
More food.
More food, more animals able to maintain their core body temperature.
So I would it appears to be accurate for me to assume that early man, the caveman, had a heaping helping of fresh meat available often, unless he got crushed.
Also, bigger animals conserve heat better.
I'm sorry? I couldn't hear you.
Bigger animals conserve heat better.
Conserve heat better? Probably body fat. Probably the body fat that does that.
Is right. Scientists debate if climate change for early humans eventually ended the age of giant mammals, something the new study does not address.
Okay, now I just want to make a comment about the other article, the other discussion before we had about obesity. God bless you. Obesity in America, and I guess it kind of correlates with extra large prehistoric mammals. These extremely obese people that are bedridden and remain obese, 500 pounds, 600 pounds, whatever. Who the hell is bringing them food into their bedrooms or into their in their hospital room? Well, let's say the bedroom where they can't get out of bed. What family members or friends continue to perpetuate their health problem and bring them the crap? They can't get out of bed, without mechanical assistance or maybe the assistance of a half a dozen people, but somebody continues to bring them the food.
Even if they got out of bed, they can't get out of the door of the house.
So some idiot in their family, or idiots, plural, or including their friends, are bringing them the poison that has made them 400, 500, 600 pounds, perpetuating their death sentence. Stupid Americans again.
Last one.
Last article. Okay, before we have to wrap it up.
Soldiers haunted by scenes of war and victims scarred by violence may wish they could wipe the memories from their minds. A commercial drug remains far off. Its use would be subject to many ethical and practical questions, but scientists have laid a foundation with their discovery that proteins can be removed from the brain's fear center to erase memories forever.
Oh.
It would be something that the government might want to use on whistleblowers, no?
Yeah, erasing the
Memories.
yeah. It's like deleting the information from a hard drive.
When a traumatic event occurs, it creates a fearful memory that can last a lifetime and have a debilitating effect on a person's life. This professor said his finding on the molecular process raises the possibility of manipulating those mechanisms with drugs to enhance behavioral therapy for such conditions as post-traumatic stress disorder. The research has drawn interest from some involved in mental health care. Kate Fahrenholtz, Executive Director of the Mental Health Support and Information Group in Maryland, said, "Many people suffering from a traumatic event might benefit from erasing a memory. But there are a lot of unanswered questions." That's what they do with electroshock therapy, and that doesn't seem to work.
No.
I mean, it just makes a zombie of the person, or
Yeah.
an invalid for crying out loud.
Prefrontal lobotomies,
Well, no, with the electric shock
electric
to
shock.
the brain. What happens is the person loses memories, and let's say you were an expert typist before you underwent electric shock.
Now you're not so
No,
much.
you're not.
an expert. So it's like what we were saying before about taking drugs like antibiotics that destroy probiotics that the body needs. In the case of electroshock therapy, it's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater again.
Yeah, yes.
You know, and this is orthodox medical society. You know that it's totally in bed with the drug companies. Orthodoxy versus alternative medicine that Dr. Gary Knoll uses, and Dr. Julian Whitaker, and all the greats.
Erasing a memory and then everything bad built on it is an amazing idea. I can see all sorts of potential. But completely deleting a memory, assuming it's one memory, is a little scary. How do you remove a memory without removing a whole part of someone's life? And is it best to do that, considering that people grow and learn from their experiences? Past research already had shown that a specific form of behavior therapy seemed to erase painful memories. But relapse was possible because the memory wasn't necessarily gone. By looking at that process, a window of vulnerability when unique receptor proteins are created was discovered. The proteins mediate signals traveling within the brain as painful memories are made. Because the proteins are unstable, they can be easily removed with drugs or behavior therapy during the window, ensuring the memory is eliminated. Researchers used mice to find the window, but believed the process would be the same in humans. They conditioned the rodents with electric shocks to fear a toad. The sound triggered creation of the proteins called calcium permeable AMPARs, AMPARS, which formed for a day or two in the fear center or the amygdala.
There we
Back
go
to the
again.
amygdala.
The amygdala returns again at the end of the video, at the end of the show.
Of the mice's brain.
Good old amygdala. Gotta love it.
Researchers are working on ways to reopen the window down the road by recalling the painful memory and using medication to eliminate the protein. That's important because doctors often don't see victims immediately after a traumatic event. Post-traumatic stress syndrome, for instance, can surface months later. Hagenar, one of the doctors whose report on erasing fear memories in the rodents was published online last month by Science Express, also believes that the window may exist in other centers of learning and may eventually be used to treat pain or drug
addiction.
All right. Oh, now it shuts off.
Thank you.
When the show is finally
It's
over.
The furnace is over.
Yeah, well, we want to thank you for joining us for Discussions Volume 2. And it was very enlightening indeed. And I just think it's such a great, convenient idea that we do it this way. You know, we combine the live broadcast, the live video broadcast, with video, hence the word volume. The same thing I say when I do Health Talk, combining the hard-hitting internet talk radio show with video, with the show on video as it is being broadcast and recorded live from the Newsletter Censor Research Center in Northeastern New Jersey. Don't forget, this is the backbone of our organization, Newsletter Censored. Go to www.newslettercensored.com and click on the printable order form, and with your gift to support this work, get your annual subscription to Newsletter Censored. This is the best way to be a part of our organization. Get it now. And don't forget, William J. Eisenman's fine watercolor collection of paintings. See if any of them are available that are in the gallery. Drop them a line, email them, and the bidding starts at $500. And that's basically it. So we want to thank you for joining us. This was a very well-rounded, educational, enlightening, and naturally entertaining show, Dr. Bill. It's unrehearsed. Just like the late, great Jackie Gleason did. Unrehearsed. Everything is totally off the cuff, ad-lib, off the top of our heads. Anything can happen here at the Newsletter Censored Research Center in Northeastern New Jersey. Like I said before, I apologize for the meeting which is still going on with our staff in the other office. Anyway, we'll see you. Bye-bye. Say goodbye.
Hasta la vista.
You always say that. Anyway, thank
I'm
you.
speaking Spanish.
Spanish, yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning Spanish.
No, very good.